Consider, for a moment, the act of listening. Not the passive reception of traffic noise or television chatter, but something altogether more profound. To truly attend to the living world around us. It is a deceptively simple act. And yet it opens a question of staggering consequence. What is the nature of our relationship with this planet? The American ecologist Aldo Leopold framed this dilemma with remarkable clarity. In his words, we find two paths stretching before us. Down one, the natural world is little more than a vast storehouse, a commodity, to be drawn upon at will. Down the other, it is something far more demanding, a community to which we belong. This is not merely a philosophical abstraction, debated in the halls of academia. The distinction changes everything. At its heart, this is a question of worldview. Of how we perceive our place in the order of things. Do we look upon the earth and see a reservoir of resources? Or do we perceive, instead, an intricate web of relationships, of which we are but one thread? The contrast, when laid bare, is stark. One view sees only natural resources, waiting to be extracted. Its central question is always the same: what more can we take? The other view perceives a family of beings. It asks an altogether different question. What does the earth ask of us? One is a monologue of extraction. The other, a dialogue of reciprocity. The distance between them could not be greater. To understand what the second path might truly feel like, we must travel far back in time. To a story that has carried this wisdom for generations. A creation story that encodes, in its very bones, the idea of belonging and mutual care. It is the story of Sky Woman. The botanist and Potawatomi author Robin Wall Kimmerer has long drawn upon this ancient narrative. A story that, from its very first breath, speaks not of power or dominion, but of dependence. It imagines the world as a place where every creature has a role, a purpose, and a responsibility to care for one another. The story itself is extraordinary. Sky Woman falls from another world. Not into oblivion, but into the waiting wings of geese, who catch her before she can plummet into the endless sea below. The animals convene in council. The most powerful among them dive to the ocean floor, seeking mud to build new land. One by one, they fail. Until the muskrat, the smallest, the most easily overlooked, gives his very life to bring a single, precious handful of earth to the surface. The turtle offers his back as a foundation. And as Sky Woman dances upon his shell in gratitude, the world begins, slowly, to grow. Reflect upon that for a moment. This world is not conjured by a single omnipotent hand. It is built through the collective gifts of all beings, from the mightiest to the most fragile. It is a powerful and ancient model for how to inhabit this planet. But in the modern world, we reach instinctively for different tools. For every problem we face, we seek a technological solution. And so one must ask, could a technology as remarkable as artificial intelligence help us bridge this ancient divide? Could it, at last, help us listen? The possibility has ignited a genuine and fascinating debate. The growing proposition that technology, artificial intelligence in particular, may hold the key to unlocking the languages of other animals. The headlines have been breathless. The suggestion is that the large language models now transforming our world could analyze the chirps, the clicks, the howls, the songs of the animal kingdom and render them into human language. A universal translator for the living world. It is a beguiling prospect. And yet we must pause and ask a rather more searching question. Is the distance between ourselves and other animals truly a problem of translation? Or does it run rather deeper than that? Is it, in fact, a problem of shared understanding? The philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein grappled with precisely this challenge. And his thinking suggests that merely matching sounds to words may be to miss the point entirely. Wittgenstein introduced the concept he called a form of life. Language, he argued, is not simply a code waiting to be deciphered. It draws its very meaning from the whole context in which it is embedded, shared experience, shared culture, a shared way of being in the world. Remove those, and meaning itself dissolves. He illustrated this with an image of elegant simplicity. A young child who is hurt. Their first and instinctive response is to cry. But the adults around them teach new expressions. Ouch, my knee hurts. What is happening in that moment? The words are not a translation of the cry. They are a learned behavior, woven into a shared human ritual of acknowledgement and care. They carry the weight of a shared life. And herein lies the profound challenge for artificial intelligence. To truly comprehend what a bird means by danger, one would need to share the life of that bird. The sensation of flight, the visceral terror of a hawk's shadow. Without that shared form of life, an AI might correlate a particular chirp with the word danger. But has it grasped the meaning? Or is it, in truth, merely matching patterns in the dark? And so we find ourselves return to where we began. If technology alone cannot grant us true understanding, then perhaps the answer lies not in what we can invent, but in how we choose to relate. Perhaps the question is not what more we might extract from the earth, but what we might, at last, return to it. As Robin Wall Kimmerer observes, the great transformation before us is not a matter of engineering a better instrument. It is a matter of changing ourselves, a shift in perception, in action, and in the deepest currents of how we feel. What might that transformation look like, in practice? It begins, perhaps, with something as quiet as attention, learning the names of the plants and creatures on our very own doorstep. It requires a change in language. Kimmerer speaks of what she calls a grammar of animacy. A maple tree is not an it. She is a living presence, deserving of a pronoun that reflects her dignity. That small shift, from object to relative, alters everything. It requires, too, a practice of gratitude. A genuine reckoning with the fact that our lives depend upon the gifts of countless other beings. Such gratitude, honestly felt, leads naturally towards sufficiency, away from the endless hunger for more. And finally, it asks us to give something in return. To offer our own distinctly human gifts, art, science, story, back to the wider community of life from which we have taken so much. We stand, at this moment, at a crossroads. Before us lie two very different modes of listening. One seeks a technological shortcut to translate the world into our own familiar terms. The other asks us to undertake the harder and more lasting work to change ourselves, to learn a new way of being, and to listen, truly listen, with the spirit of reciprocity. The earth is asking something of us. The only question that remains is what kind of answer we intend to give.